gospel reading, gospel discussion, do some of our heavy lifting. While you're thinking, one more idea. Gospel of John. Anybody know the Gospel of John? I was suggesting the other day we've got to retranslate the thing. So please take your texts and strike out the Jews. Just strike them all out. And write in the Judeans. And then notice that in most instances, synonymous with the Judeans is the Pharisees and the high priests. It's the rulers of the Judeans that Jesus is working with. Okay. In John, it's clearest. It's clearest. After the Holocaust, Christians have been bending over backwards in the embarrassment of having been complicit in all this anti-Judaism, all these centuries. Very important to do that. Very important to do that. But also important then to cut through the theological schemes through which we read the text, Judaism, the Jews, so far, right? So, was Jesus a Judean? Notice I'm not using the word Jew. Was Jesus a Judean?
No.
What was it? Galilean. And that's what John has. John's very clear that the Judeans are down here in the south, the Samaritans are in the middle, and the Galileans are up north. And what are all these people together? What's their common heritage? Israel. And so if you ask them, what are they? See, the rabbis would say, we're Israel. And the Judeans and the Galileans and the Samaritans would all say, yeah, we're Israelites.
Just a question from the professor to the...
Yeah.
What accounts for John's heavy emphasis on Jews vis-a-vis the other three Gospels? Why the heavy trip on the Jews by John?
Yeah, okay, so and I'm saying change the Jews to the Judeans.
No, I understand,
Yeah.
but what
accounts for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Growing extended conflict in the church of the time of the first century.
Maybe conflict in the church, and this is standard John scholarship. Or put that slightly differently. Something that we began to notice about 30 years ago. Gotta be slower. We began to notice this, that none of these Gospels, maybe even Luke, but certainly not Mark, certainly not John, certainly not Matthew, in none of these Gospels is there any such thing as Christianity yet. Nor is there any such thing as Judaism. There's Israel in these three areas. And this movement is part of Israel. Now, I'm saying it's a renewal of Israel over against the rulers of Israel. That's my specific point about this. But it's all Israel. And so now there's a question of, okay, now how are the followers of Jesus, the ones who look at Jesus as Christ, Lord, whatever, how do they fit with the other Judeans, with the other, I said Judeans, the other Israelites, and specifically with the Judeans, who are the ones who sort of at the top of the roost here. They're the ones where we have Jerusalem and the capital, for better or for worse. We don't like it, but it's sort of where the capital is. So that's the issue, is how they're relating. And especially Matthew and John, which may be written after the Jewish revolt and the Roman destruction of Jerusalem. And then some of this is not pretty. See, then there's blame going on, blaming the Judeans, or at least the Judean rulers. Now, usually it's the Judean rulers still. It's not generic, the Judean. It's the Judean rulers. And that's clear in the Passion narratives. Yeah.
I mean, another problem is the language thing. I mean, like in the political scene, in referring to decisions by the German government, for example, we might not say that the government of Germany, we might say the Germans decided to do this, and the French reacted by initiating this policy,
and
as if they were the whole people.
Good.
We're really talking just about the rulers
Exactly, yeah, that's
top
very good.
officials, not about the whole,
Yeah.
the whole population of those
Yeah.
countries.
And then the Christians in their unfortunate understanding that then became anti-Judaism, made that
They
identification.
might be saying the Jews or the Judeans did this, and actually what they mean in context is the rulers of the Judeans.
Yeah, good. So we're coming back to the question.
Everything you're saying today is resistance against the empire received theological interpretation, whereas certainly in the UK and Anglicans, the bishops, part of it in cahoots with the government, appointed by the government, the king at the top, this has all been a form of domination of the empire.
Yeah, and what happened under Constantine with the bishops had already happened under the earlier Roman times with the high priests.
But we continued it.
Yeah, but what?
We've continued this.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now let's come back, and we didn't really finish with why there's such a strong emphasis in John.
And we probably ought to use this as a place to wind up or take any
Okay.
last questions on about
Yeah, that's
another
good.
5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Let's do this, and then let's just finish this one, Robert, and then we can come back. Once we read the whole story of Mark, we realize just how strong the opposition between Jesus and the high priests and their representatives, the Pharisees and scribes, how strong that is. And some of those words that Jesus has about the Pharisees and the scribes are, I wouldn't say vitriolic, but they're condemnatory. Why? Because they're inducing people to drain resources away from the village and the families and drain them to the temple, which of course is